15 years back, even more, if I am not wrong, maybe 20 or 25 years back. Yes, that is the case. 20, 25 years back, before the year 2000, around 90. Sure about the exact year. So G code, lot of G, it's called graphical code or G code. G for Gujarat or Goa, then code, G code or graphical code. So in graphical code, what is done? There are few building blocks. Building blocks means in the background they are script, but the functions which are written as a script in the background or runs as a script in the background, but at the front end, the user can use them as an icon. User can use them as an icon. The difference between Windows icon and this script file or G code icon is that here the programming environment, G code or graphical code programming environment gives some basic functionalities, like you have a space or page, you can say, basically a page where you can drag and drop these various icons or modules, program modules. They're basically program modules intended to perform some specific work or task. They are jotted down or by drag and drop in the new page or new file, you can say, new program, new graphical code file. When a new G code file, the icons, graphical code, standard G code icons, which are available in a library, that can be opened, and from there you can visualize the icons, drag and drop, like an icon for oscilloscope. That means it will perform the work of oscilloscope. An icon for a sinusoidal waveform. That will, if you use that icon, you can generate a sinusoidal voltage of specific amplitude and frequency, like that. And you can add them up by varying, not physical varying, but graphical varying by specific method. A dozen of such environments or G code programming language were launched. Ultimately, two successful G code programming paradigms finally survived. One is Simulink, another one is LabVIEW. LabVIEW is a fully G code based programming paradigm, and is being successfully used for system modeling, offline and online, system design, also for real-time applications. But the problem is the cost, the license, and cost to acquire the license of LabVIEW and also Simulink is very high. It's very high. In academic institutions, we have a discount, heavy discount. We can get a heavy discount. That's why we could afford to procure one such license of multiple users. That you can see in the central computer lab is a bit old. Every year, MathWorks brings two updates, to ILD build, build A and build B nowadays. So now this time you can get a build of MATLAB 2021B. Maybe you can also get 2022A beta version. Beta is not stable. Anyway, the basic concept can be clarified with any old version also. But if anybody gets opportunity to learn and or get training on LabVIEW, you must do that. Because a lot of work, engineering work like analysis and synthesis can be performed very well in LabVIEW. But the cost of training is very expensive. You'll find it expensive or not affordable from your personal, you can say, personal interest. Maybe if company provides that training, you should grab that opportunity. That is my point. It's very expensive, and there is no point of spending a lot of money for some purpose which you cannot foresee. It wants to give you the training on LabVIEW, you must grab that opportunity. Now see, in the name of the product of MathWorks, two names are given, MATLAB and Simulink, because they are two independent products. But the work of Simulink is supported by MATLAB, and the work of MATLAB is supported by Simulink. So there is an interface between them. So in earlier days, many functions were written in MATLAB script file. But nowadays, most of the developments of Simulink are done either in C++ or in Java, mainly Java. One thing I didn't tell you that, but I might have discussed, but cannot remember. The core of MATLAB and Simulink is written in Fortran, because till date, Fortran is the best mathematical software. Not mathematical, should not say like that. It's a general purpose programming language, but the mathematical functions can be coded. Very efficiently in Fortran. In earlier days, a very fast version of MATLAB was written in Fortran. Anyway, with this brief introduction, if I click over here in this matrix, this page will open. Introduction to Simulink modeling. So what is there actually? How to start Simulink modeling? Click over here, basics, then MATLAB, then Simulink. So from here also you can get the details of Simulink. Okay, so just click over here, Simulink, this page will open. But for modeling, you have to click over here using Simulink. So I opened this page previously, so I went back. And so what is there? Let us get familiarized with Simulink environment first. See, when you click here, an icon will appear like this. The standard symbol of Simulink is this one. If you click on this icon, Simulink will open. So present version of Simulink, the very first page looks like this. Here you have many items or options. So you can open. If you click on this open and then blank file, blank model, a page like this will appear. This is the area I was talking, the page where you can create new model, new G file, graphical file. So this uh, area is very similar to Windows. Okay, so very few standard icons are also there, like save, open, a bit new. But once you start using it, it will become quite evident because you are quite familiar with this type of softwares. And the software manufacturers, they keep this in mind, that what are the features which the user are already familiar with. So they always try to accommodate those features and then some additional features that they prepare themselves for themselves. SLX, see the extension SLX. Earlier days it was S. MATLAB file was .m and Simulink files were having extension .s, but nowadays it is SLX. So this is to discriminate the old version and new version. Understand that this is a new version, that a new version of Simulink. This is based on new version of Simulink. The file will only open in new version. So a very simple model has been created over here. This is a step input, and this is one oscilloscope, and this is a transfer function. You can get these in a library. Basic elements. Okay, I think. Every version they change something. So I think here this is the library. This is the library. This icon is for library. If you click on it, a group, all the groups will appear like source. This will come under source library. This is sync library. Sync means where the final things will be dumped. So oscilloscope is one such device. So it's it will fall under that group, sync. And this is in the linear system group, you will find transfer function. So if you just drag and drop this tree block over here, and if you just by mouse, you can just if you press over here and keeping the mouse key button pressed, just drag up to this point, input of this, and release. Then what will happen? A line and an arrow will appear, and they connect this block and this block. So you have to do it by yourself, or if you cannot understand, there are a lot of YouTube videos available, the basic lesson on Simulink. You can follow those videos, and you learn within 10 minutes. The thing is that you have to understand what you need and how to implement that. If that part is clear, then making models will be very easy. Okay, and for that you should have a clear knowledge about the system. If you understand what is the type of the transfer function that will be represented or something else, it will be easy. Otherwise, if you don't understand the transfer function that corresponds to that particular system, possibly your model will be wrong. For example, you thought about a process control system of, say, first order type. So you developed this type of model, and you could understand, or you could identify the pole and zero of that system, and you have written or given input to that transfer function block like this. But you missed one thing. Say the process may have a delay, time delay, e to the power minus ts. So you either you have no knowledge about that delay or you missed it, then what will happen? The result will be wrong, or the transfer function development will be wrong. So how to incorporate that delay? Can you incorporate that the delay within a transfer function? No, you cannot directly incorporate. So you have to add another block over here in Cascade for time delay. So this simple transfer function along with a delay will model the entire system. Now, basic elements are blocks. There are source, sinks, continuous, as I said, all continuous types like transfer function, state space, PID, and discrete. Discrete means sample data or digital. Mathematical operations like gain, sum, product, absolute value, etc. Port and subsystems. Okay, so like multiplexer, demultiplexers, all these blocks you'll find find them in groups. So if you just place your cursor over here and right click, line will appear from a new line will emerge from there, and wherever you release, that will end up with an arrow. Now if I want, then I can place two oscilloscopes over here. You can copy. You need not place as many oscilloscopes as you require from the list by drag and drop. Just drag and drop only one oscilloscope and right click on that oscilloscope and press somewhere inside this area and place right click again and then paste. So first copy and then paste. In this way you can generate multiple similar blocks, and the name will automatically change. This is scope and scope 1. Now if you again click on this name of this block, double click, that will be editable, that will become editable. So you can give a nice name over here, say the display, name of the display. Say this, you can you want to display the frequency. Here you want to display the phase, so frequency, phase, like that. Or if you want to give a specific name of the transfer function, okay, so G1, G2, like that. So you can change like that. So here, if I create a simple system like this, transfer function for a system, step input and oscilloscope over here, and all continuous. So after creation, you have to press over here this play button. This play button is for simulation, or you can call the simulation from here also. All the functionalities that are available here, they are also available from here. This drag and drop down menu. Okay, I prefer using drop down menu because sometimes I get confused with these icons, because every year I find some change in the appearance in the icons. So I don't use these icons frequently. This is my habit, so that's why I'm telling you why the habit has grown. I'm also sharing, but I find this drop down menu more useful because they don't change it. They cannot change it frequently. Maybe the place may get changed from one place to another, but more or less 99% time they remain the same. New functionalities get add up, but I have seen more than two dozens of changes in this appearance of the menu for last, say, 15-16 years. Anyway, so how the block parameters are changed. So if you right click any block and then click on the properties, okay, then this type of description or window will appear where you can change the properties of that block. Here the property of the transfer function block has been edited. So numerator, as you have seen in MATLAB programming, the matrix were inputted like this: numerator and denominator. sorry, not matrix, transfer function. Numerator coefficients were given as a matrix, and denominator coefficients were given as a matrix, and using the transfer function command, we could combine them together to generate the transfer function. So need not touch these and these. They can be left as default. You will understand these two menus gradually. And first press apply, then OK. Then what will happen? This transfer function will be generated. You can change this, and this is by default. This description will come or appear as default. If you want to make it a second order one, and you know the numerator and denominator values, okay, of the matrices, then you can input like this. So in order to make it a second order one, having the denominator as s square plus 2s plus 4, what shall we do? We will leave 1 as it is if I don't want to change the numerator. Here we will write 1 because the coefficient of s square is 1, then coefficient of s is 2, and final one is coefficient of s to the power 0 is 4. So this matrix will become 1, 2, then 4. তারপর একটা গান মনে পড়ছে নিশ্চয়ই 1 2 का 4 1 2 4. Now regarding the step input, if I again right click and then select its properties, you have to play with it. Just trying to build up your confidence to do the play. So these menus will appear, step time, for how long this step input will be applied. It's default 1 second. So you can change it to or no, step time is the rise of the step input. So at 1 second it will go up, and final value will be 1 final value. So it is unit step. You can make it 10, so it will be 10 volt or something. And regarding the oscilloscope, if you it's a virtual oscilloscope or simulation window of oscilloscope. The various properties are given over here. You can change this scale, this axis and this axis, and you can zoom on all these operations. The operations that you can perform is given over here. You have to play with it. So display can be properly modified. Hey Binoy Kumar, তুমি এত দেরিতে কেন? অনেক পড়িয়ে দিয়েছি।
I just woke up.
You just woke up. Thanks for your honest reply. A teacher wants honesty from the student. Now you have the simulation model ready. Now you can do the simulation. Be very careful about it. for file save as. Then you run this simulation by clicking this one, and this is the simulation time total. For total time the simulation will run. And here one thing is shown, ODE45. What does it mean? In all, before that, this simulation is a numerical simulation, you can say. Numerical, what does it mean? What is the meaning of numerical simulation? All mathematical operations that are running in the background of this simulation are based on numerical methods. Once again, all the mathematical operations that are required to run this simulation, those mathematical operations are based on numerical methods, because a digital computer can perform only numerical methods based mathematical operations like differentiation, integration, or any other filtering. Okay, it can perform directly by virtue of its you can say it's a powerful feature of array, crunching array. So we can in the programming definitely create array because of the you can say the hardware, basic hardware available in digital computer. Basic hardware is the memory, the concept of memory location. Okay, you can store or you can save your data as an array or group of data as an array. So that's why this linear algebra is not a problem in digital computer. It can do it very efficiently. But regarding the other mathematics or continuous time domain mathematics, it has a handicap. It cannot do that. It can do partly. Approximation based on numerical methods, because you know that numerical methods are approximate methods, based on, and sometimes it is based on trial and error, search. Okay, so trial and error basically a search, mathematical search. In machine learning it's called search. In optimization it is called search. You are searching by putting various values. You are trying to find out the result, and if the result lies within a tolerance, then you can say that, well, I have my result has been converged. So the mathematics which are running in the background, except addition and subtraction, most of the other functions are based on numerical methods. Here in simulation in Simulink environment or in M-File MATLAB environment, what is done basically? Well, try to compare it a signal that you observed in your electrical engineering lab in oscilloscope. What is there except Lissajous pattern? What is most of the time you get along the horizontal axis? It is time. Horizontal axis of the oscilloscope gives us the time, and the vertical axis or axes you will get vertical axis or axis, you get the various amplitudes of a particular function. Okay, various amplitudes of a particular function, or you can say you can depict the values that will change with time. So time domain. So a real oscilloscope gives you a time domain description okay, of the variation of the signal. By simulation, the main objective is to, in simulation, the main objective is to replicate that feature. That means we have a mathematical function in real system. It is a signal, but in simulation description in terms of a mathematical function, say sinusoidal function, exponential function, like that. We want to calculate in simulation. First we calculate. We want to calculate how the system, how the function will change with respect to time. So we put various values of time and get its amplitude or other features like phase, frequency, okay, if the frequency changes. So there will be definite relation with the input variables and the output variables of a function, and that makes the function itself. One variable is time, and we call it independent variable. Time doesn't depend on anything. Time is time. अपना मतलब इसका ये है, मिजाज है. Can you change time? No. Time is time. So it's a pure independent variable. So with time, everything changes except constant values, constant value function. So now the question is, for a function, it is very simple to calculate the change of the function. Suppose a step input, here the step input. We know that after the step is triggered at this point, say time is equal to 0, it will go up certain value and it will remain the same. We know it from its mathematical description. Or if it is a rising exponential, so from here it will rise like this. So we know at what point of time what will be the value of the exponential. The model system, mathematical description of the system, you have the mathematical description of the input function. Now after the input function is applied to this system or mathematical model of the system, what will be the output from that mathematical model? Can you directly calculate that? Yes, you can calculate that. You might be curious to know how. You have already studied it. You have finished study. You are now expert of this. I can tell you. If somebody has any doubt, I'm ready to give an undertaking that you know it, you already studied it. What is that? Solving ordinary differential equations. So I said during the very first interaction in this class that any system, any dynamic system can be represented by differential equation. Transfer function is nothing but a new representation of that differential equation. Ultimately, if you take inverse Laplace transform of this transfer function, you will get a differential equation itself for this system. So if you have a differential equation to describe the mathematical model of the system, what is there in the differential equation? The variables which describe the model, and there you will definitely find input variable and output variable at the first instance, and coefficients, which are parameters of the system. The coefficients in the differential equation are nothing but the parameters, or you can say if they are, I can put it in a different way. The parameters of the system decides the coefficient of the differential equation. Suppose it is a RLC series circuit. So what will happen? The value of R, value of L, and value of C will decide the parameters of that differential equation that will represent the mathematical model of the RLC series circuit. You have already studied in physics. Somewhere it will be RC, somewhere it will be L by R, like those combinations will come. So just by looking into the coefficients of the differential equation, you cannot say that, okay, the parameters, the elements within the system have these parameters. No, they may be clubbed together. So you have to isolate them first of all. So the parameters are based on the various coefficients of the differential equation. Actually, is due to the system parameters. So you have a differential equation. You have the input function. So in a differential equation, prima facie, or looking into the face, you will find three things or four important aspects. One is the differential equation variables, input variable and output variables. Number two, the coefficients of the differential equation, and one function will be there, that is input or forcing function, you can say input. Okay, if it is not clearly evident, then that part will be zero. So there will be an input function. So here the input function is this one, step input. So you have to substitute this input function into the differential equation. Okay, so how can you substitute the input to the differential equation? For step input, you can substitute. So only constant value can substitute. For a particular instant of time, what will be the value of that step input, you can substitute, and that will be the constant value. Okay, so then you can solve. After you substitute the input value, you can solve the differential equation and get the output value of this system at that particular instant of time. Now, you may not be satisfied with the one value. You want to see the variation of the output continuously. But in digital environment, you cannot do a very continuous calculation. Not possible because of the definite sampling rate. The data is here sampled. So every sampling instant, you take the value of the input and substitute over here and calculate, solve the differential equation and get the output. If you don't want to use a computer, you can do it manually. But it's a tedious job. So we do it in this type of simulation environment. This thing itself. So all the blocks are nothing but a program, a static one. You program once, you select the values, or you edit the values once, save it. Okay, it's a static one. But in order to run it, when it runs, after pressing this icon, when it runs, it becomes a dynamic one. Calculation becomes dynamic. It's changing all the time. For a particular value of at a particular instant of time, say at t is equal to 0.01 second, the value of input, you substitute it, solve it, dump it in the oscilloscope, take the next value, solve it, dump it, like that. It will go on till the simulation time is over. Simulation time, you specified maximum simulation time is over. So there will be hundreds of thousands of calculation or solving, and you solve the differential equation hundreds of thousand times depending upon the number of points that you want to generate within this simulation time. Well, after this, so how does this differential equation is solved by this Simulink environment? by numerical methods. Because it's a digital computer, it can solve the differential equation by numerical methods only. And Simulink provides a couple of very nice and very powerful differential equation solvers. ODE45 is one such differential equation solver. If you don't change it in the properties, simulation properties, you click simulation and then change properties. When this drop down menu will appear, the simulation properties will appear, you will see ODE45 is selected as default. You can change it to other ODE solver engine. But this is very popular and common. ODE45 actually is the core of simulation. That means it performs the solution of the differential equation to implement the simulation with respect to time repeatedly. It solves, but it is done in numerical method environment. You can do it by yourself. Well, somebody may be very orthodox. He or she doesn't want to believe math works regarding its accuracy. Possible. How can you do that? Where should you start? You already studied that, numerical methods. You open the book of numerical methods and you find several techniques you already studied, like solver, ODE solver. One is Runge-Kutta, RK method. There are various variations of RK method. Integration. Okay. In offline mode, I always ask student to develop some expertise in implementing RK method in MATLAB script file. And then I ask them, okay, you take one differential equation, you solve it with your own RK solver, and then solve the differential equation using the solvers given in MATLAB. This ODE45 is also available in MATLAB. In Simulink, it's available. In MATLAB also it's available. ODE45, you can solve differential equation. So then I ask them to compare the accuracy. Okay. So if you get interest in this work, you can also do it by yourself. You develop your Runge-Kutta solver. You solve a simple second order differential equation of your choice with your own ODE solver that you have designed, and solve that same function for same input with the standard solver like ODE45, ODE23, Durand Prince, like that, and compare the result. So this is the main idea behind the simulation in Simulink. So here also you can, from drop down menu, you can run the simulation. So here, for this nice second order system, you can see the response comes like this in the oscilloscope. If you change the parameters, or I think here they have changed it, transfer function 120, 400. So it has become a bit peaky. See, these are the simulation parameter block. Here ODE45. This is Durand Prince. Step time from 0 to 10 seconds, and these are left as auto. These are the default, and tolerance is 1 e to the power minus 3. Client is the second order one that you have just seen. A PID controller has been incorporated, and a gain is given over here 2.5. To actually supplement these PID values. So proportion, this you can say additional proportional gain. And a step input is given, and unity feedback control. So see, seeing source is the defined function, leave it. So they will appear like this. Commonly used block, continuous. If you click them, then they will expand like this. So clock, constant value, like this. So step input, they are dragged like this. Then you arrange all the blocks nicely in a line. Then so when they are not connected, the output will be shown like this and input will be shown like this. For step input, a signal has no output. Signal block has no input. It has only output. Okay. And the oscilloscope, the sync, they have only input, no output. Port. They are port basically. And rest and remaining blocks will have input port as well as output port. So you have to just connect them. They are one by one connected. So if you do not terminate the connection, it will look like this. Once you drag it and leave it up to here, automatically they will get connected. If you start dragging from here, it will become a line like this. And an arrow will be shown, broken arrow. Once it touches over here, you leave up to, drag the mouse up to this input port and leave it, then there will be a solid line between this and this, as it is appearing. And the arrow gives or represents the direction of the signal flow. Now they have taken it, they have tapped the signal, as I said, right click over here at the signal line and drag like this, drag here in this direction, then stop, then again drag, leave without leaving the cursor, mouse button. Then again move up, then bigger, smaller, by dragging in this way you can change this shape. It's quite flexible. These are the wires, connecting wire for signals. Okay, and for a particular setting of PID, this response appeared. Now the value of K has been taken 2.5. So this way the gain parameter, you can just either double click or right click and then go to the select the properties, then also this will appear. So you can change the value of gain. So this is the all basic lessons about Simulink. You replicate all the tasks given over here. Okay, like running simulation, modeling. This basic, the homework is do this basic modeling, and then a double mass spring damper system, the railway coach, okay, train system. They can be modeled as a double mass spring. This is a very standard or benchmark simulation model. You implement it. The step-by-step implementation is shown over here. You just replicate and try to understand what has been done and why it has been done. And I think pretty good amount of explanation is given. If you cannot understand that or you need more information, you can ask me. How to rotate or flip block, everything is given. Sometimes you need to rotate the block. Just make an inversion in order to connect it properly. Like this one, it has been inverted. So input has been taken this side and output has been taken this side to make it convenient to wear. Otherwise, it will be difficult to wear. and how the models are run. So before the next class, you should finish this one. All the exercise that we have covered in the last session, and the homework that I have asked you to replicate, and these two tasks, that means the basic of Simulink and this simulation of this double spring mass damper system. This is called double spring mass damper system. Mass 1, mass 2, and every mass is associated with this mass, spring, and friction damper. The next class I will discuss about very interesting topic that is called S function. S function. S for Sri Lanka. The thing is, these are the standard blocks of Simulink. These are the standard blocks of Simulink. Sometimes in engineering and scientific applications, if you want to develop your model employing this default blocks or available blocks, complicated. Okay. Then, if you have the concrete description, mathematical description of the or mathematical model of what you want to create using this block, okay, you can do it of your own by a single block. By a single block. That means you can create your own block. Relationship. If I put it in a simplest way, if you know the input-output relationship, what it is going to do in input and output, then you can create your own Simulink block, customized Simulink block, and that is called S function. If you understand and learn in developing your own S function, nobody can stop you in doing simulation. Whatever complicated problem is given to you, is a very powerful tool of Simulink. Brahmastra bolte paro of Simulink. For learning that, you have to complete all the tasks given. That is the prerequisite. So I'm not sure whether this Saturday I will be able to take class or not, because one meeting is going to happen that time. It is not yet confirmed, the timing. So if that falls Saturday evening, then I don't know about the how long it will continue. Either I will take an additional or class, that class in some other day and time, or I will take the class of next Monday with an extended period, and after that I think we'll be in a better position in this simulation, modeling and digital simulation. Then we will decide after the class, we will decide about our future course of action, whether we will continue with much more problems or we'll stop there. If people get tired, I will stop there and ask all of you to submit a report and appear for a viva voce and conclude. And if you want to learn more, then I will organize few more classes. Choice is yours. I never give much burden on my students. I rather prefer that whatever they have learned from me, they have learned 100%. By giving lot of homeworks, lot of drills, I think people don't learn. If you have any doubt, then you can ask me, or I will close this session because I have to go to the university. Any doubt, you can write to me also. Okay, I'm then stopping this session.